as usual, it's a little bit early to start filming. About another 20 minutes till the sun comes up. Gosh, I'm ready to get started. All right, let's go have another cup of coffee. Welcome back to Kevin's Trooper channel. This is the channel where we do all types of DIY projects for overlanding and off-roading. So if you like that kind of thing, hit the subscribe button and join our great community of guys that we have here that watch my videos every single week. And today, I've got a good one for you. We're going to be changing out our stock rear links for some beautiful, beefy links that I got from Classic City Overland, linked in the description. Now, why is this important? What happens whenever you lift a vehicle? That pulls your rear axle forward slightly. In fact, I think it's about 3 to 5 millimeters for every 20 millimeters of lift that you put on a vehicle. So what it actually does is it makes your wheelbase shorter. And that has a tendency to put things in a bind. And so we're going to change them out to these beautiful rear links that I got from Classic City Overland. There's 4 links on the vehicle. There's this little short one that goes on the top of the differential. There's the 2 long ones down both sides. And then there's the track bar across the back. The track bar is what keeps your rear axle in alignment with your frame. We're going to do the top one first. We'll do the 2 sides, and then we'll work on that track bar and getting the alignment. All right, guys. Oh, this is hard to get to and even harder to film. The first thing we're going to try to do is get up here and take this upper bolt out. I got my socket on there. Now, let me just see if I can get something as a backer. This top one's going to be hard to film for you guys. I'm doing my best. It is way up under here. I'm going by feel only. Okay, there we go. It feels like that's on there. Let me see if I can squeeze my impact in here on the bolt. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, we got it. All right, now I'm going to try to get this upper one. Now, that one is not going to be able to be reached with the impact at all. It's going to be strictly wrenches, which, by the way, check out my new long reach snap-on. How about that? Pretty pumped up about that. So, you know, you always see these pros using these big long wrenches and they get so much leverage. And I had to break down and order me one. And let's see if it helps me on this. I don't even think I can get... I can't even get a ratchet on this without removing a bunch of brackets and stuff. Alright, let's see. having a long wrench does for you. Very nice. Now hopefully none of these bolts are seized in these bushings. If they are, then we're gonna have a real fight. Nope, this one's not because it's already turning. Okay, so I see that a 19 millimeter ratcheting wrench is going on the tool list because that would make life much easier in this situation. All I have is an 18 is my largest, which seems kind of weird. I don't know if my ratcheting wrenches came with a 19 and it's been lost. Get on there. Or what? But right now all I can see in my toolbox is an 18. Now on this long snap-on wrench that I'm using here, this extra long one, of course these wrenches are very expensive. These are very long wrenches like you see the pros using. So what I decided to do on this, guys, almost all of the big nuts and bolts on the Trooper are either 17s or 19s. So it doesn't make sense to buy a whole set of these long wrenches because you're really needing them for leverage. So what I did was I just bought a 17-19 combo. And that's really all I need for my purposes. I don't need the whole set. And that way I invested money in one long one. And that's probably gonna be all I need. And this feels like this bolt will pull right out. It doesn't even feel like it's under a bind at all. So, the bolt's turning so easy, I may not have to jack up or take pressure off of anything to pull this one out, which would be really nice. Once we get this top one done, we've got it made. It's this top one that's the hard one to get to and kind of in a tight space under here. I don't think the other ones will be as bad. Of course, you know what happens when you say stuff like that. Now I'm going to be reusing all the hardware, so I want to make sure I keep everything straight just in case it's different. Let's see if I can hand turn that. Alright, I'm able to hand turn it, and there we go. And that's coming out very easy. Alright, I may have to get a little punch or something to get that out the rest of the way. Let me see if I can get this and kind of encourage it to come out a little bit. Okay. Now let me give that just a little tap. I know, it's my new wrench. Oh well. Every tool has a hammer side, right? And that one is just hanging loose. I've got these lines right here that I have to take off of this and before I can get it out, so I'm gonna go get a smaller wrench and pull this bracket off, and then we'll drive that back bolt out and this upper one should be good. Let me just give y'all kind of a little close-up there of what I'm dealing with. Man, I just cannot get y'all a better picture of this in here, guys. You gotta be kidding me. I grabbed the 13 instead of the 12. Okay. I should be able to fit this little ratchet in here. All right. Now that's out. Okay, the top one is loose. Guys, I know everything about that shot, the lighting, it all sucked. There was nothing that I could do about it. I could barely fit my stomach and my body and everything up in there and get a good shot. I apologize for that shot. I really did do my very best on that. If I could jack the truck up more, I probably would have a little bit more room in there. But you guys get the picture. We got this off. All right, now what we're going to do next is we're going to take the stock length of this bar and get it to stock first. All right, I got a new idea. What if we did like this? All right, look at that. That tells us we are exactly at stock length. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this one out and I'm going to go one full turn longer. One. By the way, guys, another really big benefit of these aftermarket links is that these bushings in here are designed to flex and move with the articulation as you're off-roading. These are not. These are just solid rubber bushings. And as you flex off-road, these will end up tearing, and many times these stock bars actually end up bending. So these new ones, not only are they beefy and beautiful, but they're designed not to do that. Okay, now I'm going to tighten this nut down with this beast of a wrench that I had to go get yesterday, because I didn't have anything this big. All right, and then next I'm going to install my grease zerk onto this side. Now you guys want to be very careful whenever you're putting these on, that you get them started straight and you're super gentle with them. I've had these strip out and that becomes such a pain when that happens. Okay, the smallest box wrench that I have is a 5, and this looks like it's a little smaller than that. So I'm going to improvise a little bit here. There we go. Now, it's recommended that you only use a silicone-based grease and not a petroleum-based grease on this. So the grease that I have ordered, I had to order it from Amazon because my local hardware store didn't have it. And there's one ready to be installed. Okay, my notes say that the adjuster side goes towards the axle. So you guys can see how there's a hole. If you can see that, there's a hole in the back for this grease zerk to fit into. Looks like it has to go down just a little bit. There we go. Now here is where we're going to have to start to manipulate the axle just a little bit to try to get this other bolt in, because we're not going to be at the same length anymore. And that's going to make things just a little bit more complicated. So it looks like if I raise the body, that's going to make this space farther apart, I believe. Yeah. So let me raise the body a little bit. And let's see if we got farther apart. Okay. I don't see that helped us a whole lot, but I'm not far off. I may be able to take a pry bar, which of course I have to get out again and get. Oh, this is what's nice about having my little boy here is he can hand me stuff and I don't have to get out every time I need something. Oh yeah. How am I going to get my hand up in there? I got to switch this up a little bit here. That's going to go though for sure. Alright, I can feel how it needs to go now. I just felt where I was. And it needs to go back quite a bit. All right. I got it. Now, how in the heck did I get something in my eye with completely completely enclosed glasses on? See if I can get my hammer in there. No, I can't get a good enough whack on it to get it to go in there. That ain't gonna work. Oh, it is gonna work. Look at that. I ended up just holding onto my hammer like this and just hitting it enough that I got it to go in. Installed. One of two things just happened right there. You either watched some footage of me changing that upper link, or the footage was so terrible that I've skipped this moment right now. Whichever one it was, let's continue. And here we are at the left rear tire. And we're gonna see if we can get this back side of the track link off first. And let me see if I can pop this one out. All right, let me try it without this swivel. There we go. And we are out. If y'all notice there, when I had this swivel on, it wasn't enough power in my impact to get it out. But as soon as I took that off and just switched to the socket by itself, it came right out. These swivels, for whatever reason, really take away some of your impact strength and some of your ability to take bolts out whenever you have these swivels on. So if you can't get it out with a swivel on, and you can just fit your impact in without a swivel, you're always better off doing that. And here we are at the left front. And let's see if we can get our impact on here to get this out. By the way, if you guys have not seen my video on these 360-degree swivels, you really ought to check that out. These things are so handy. Alright, let's see. And we are out. And this bolt appears to be coming right out. Yeah, we're out there. And I've got a little emergency brake cable here that I need to take off. What did they do? Switch to a 10 all of a sudden? They did switch to a 10. I don't know what the deal is with that. This is what I wasn't sure if I was going to build a bracket for, and honestly that seems so strong there. I don't see that I need a bracket for that. That's not going to flop around at all. That's super strong. And let me see if I can work this back bolt out. Look how simple. I thought I was going to be hammering and prying and everything I could to get these things out. They really slip right out. Okay, so if the adjusting nut is going to go towards the axle, that means I'm going to want the brand facing out. This means this is going to be the one for this side. If I put it on the other side, this will be facing in. I'm going to take my bolt, and I'm going to get my factory length. And there's my factory length. I'm going to go one full turn longer. There. I'm going to want my other side this exact length. So rather than risk getting it the same off of going one longer than the stock one, I'm going to match my other side up to this one. So this is going to be the one for the other side. And it's going to be sitting on the car like this. And that means that if I look at this right here, I'm 4 threads in from the beginning here. Okay, so what I've done here is I've moved our links, both sides, left and right, to the table. I've put a bolt in the other side so that I can take a look at this thread count right here and make sure that I have these equal distance from side to side. And I just want to count my threads here. I have 1, 2, 3, and then I'm on it. And then on this one, same thing. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm on it. Okay, that is exactly the same length there. And then it's time to install our grease Zerks onto the end of this one. You want to make absolutely sure that you get these straight, and you don't have to overdo the torque on this at all. There's one, and there's 2. All right, let's see if we can get this one on the truck. And we are going to go in the reverse order that they came out. Just because we know they went in that, they came out that way. That means it has to be able to go in that way. Okay, I put the other end under a jack stand just to kind of help give me a little extra lift there. And let's see if we can get this side in. Yep. Alright, we got that one started. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do that. That's not gonna work. Here's what I'm thinking, guys. I had kind of wanted this name to face out, but that's gonna put my grease zerk facing up. I could move it to the end, but as long as my grease insert is on my grease gun, I'm still not sure if it were on the end, because there's also a grease zerk here on the end. So the only way I can do this is like this, because if I move it to the end, I won't have enough room. So that's going to have to stay like this. And it's not that I have this thing upside down, because the adjuster nut has to go to the axle, and this has to be the front, and this head is fixed. And you might say, well, it's the other side. Well, it can't be, because then this would still be upside down. So this is not going to face out. Not a big deal. I mean, it's really no big deal to me. So it's going to go just like that. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have it backwards or something like that, but I don't. There's no way that I can. There's no other possibility other than it to go like it is. Oh, that's almost in. There we go. And I'm going to put my nut on this one. Now before I tighten this up, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side in case I need a little bit of give. And then we'll probably go ahead and do the track link in the back and then tighten everything up once we get it sitting on the ground again. And here we are at the right rear. Alright, glasses on. And give myself a little backup. There's one. And there's two. And let me see if I can get this parking cable off. And that's out. And now our track link is free. Let's see if I can get this side to come out. Come on. It's a little bit stuck in there. Okay. That's free. Let's go ahead and get this left one out completely. Or right one, I'm sorry. Now, I'm sitting this just for a second because I need it to lay face down and I don't want to sit it on my grease zerk back there. So I'm gonna get the jack stand to set it up on, just so I'm not scraping my grease zerk against the ground here. Just like that. Right there. Alright, and we're going to go in just like this. And it needs to go forward just a little bit. Almost. There we go. And we're in. Try not to scrape my threads too much if I could there. I don't want to scar my threads all up on this thing. That's why I went ahead and cleaned my threads over on the wheel, is so they'd be kind of easy to screw back in, you know. It needs to come towards me. That might be a little tough. Okay, what if we use our brains here and see how that works for us? Probably a pretty good idea. I want to make sure I don't get any brake lines or anything in there. Yeah, that has brake lines around it. I can't do anything with these gloves on. Alright. Does that go through? Yep. That does go through. And there we go. This side is pretty far off over here. See if I can wrench it a little bit more. Whew, that baby's tight. And we're in. Yeah, the old ratchet strap is a little maxed on that one. That worked so easy, guys. If you do this job, keep your ratchet strap handy, especially if you're by yourself. All right, now I'm just going to put my nut on. And doesn't feel like we messed up our threads. So that's really good news. And I'm very confident that this brake line is going to be 100% fine. It's braced here and it's braced there. It's not going anywhere. That ratchet strap trick is the key. If something's not quite right or it's a little torqued, you can just pull it back in and then your bolt will go right in. So that worked out really, really well. Next, we have to do the track bar. That's really the last thing that we have to do is the track bar, and then get everything all square, equal, and tighten everything down. The number one thing on this that I need to make sure is that my axle on each side is equal distance to the frame. Right now it's not. I didn't write it down or anything. I knew I was going to look at it a little bit closer today. Last night I was out here kind of getting everything together, getting all my gear out, getting everything prepped for today. And I happened to take a look at it, and yeah, it's pretty far off. So maybe it'll run a lot straighter. Not that it run that crooked to begin with, but maybe it'll run a little straighter, and maybe the tires will last a little longer. Who knows? I need to take 1/4 of an inch shorter on that track bar in order to square up the axle. Let's see if we can get this track bar off. There we go. So here's my old and new track bar. And I want to make the new one a little less than 1/4 of an inch shorter. Now I'm sticking my finger through here and I can feel that the two holes are lined up perfectly. And I'm a little over 1/4 of an inch there. All right. I think that's going to be just right there. So my new one is now a little less than 1/4 of an inch shorter than my other one. All right, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit right here. And I just want to clean these threads up a little. And just make sure this will go on here good. Now I'm going to take a little bit of silicone. A little silicone paste. And put me just a little bit right here. Okay. Now this is going to go right on here. Let's see how this is going to work. Yep, that's going to work. And then this was just like that. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to come way this way. wonder if I turn it, that'll help. Yeah, it's working its way in. All right. All we have left to do now is tighten everything up and hit our grease zerks. That's it. Alright guys, I run into a little issue here. This grease zerk I cannot get to because this bracket piece here is in the way. And so I'm going to run up to the hardware store and get some 90-degree zerks. That way I can point this down and I can get to my grease gun on that. I'm hoping I have room right here to put a 90-degree zerk in without having to pull this rear link out. I probably will. I can get my fingers in there pretty good. I think I'm going to be able to screw that in. It won't be any problem at all. And I am back from the hardware store. And what I am trying to determine... Yeah, that's going to go good. How the easiest way for me to go ahead and get these old ones out. I'm thinking surely this is going to be easier than pulling these links back off on in the back, you know. I think I can squeeze in here and do this fairly easy and just swap these out. Now, can I fit this one in there without removing this? And I cannot. No. It's going to start cross-threaded. I'm going to have to ease them back out real quick and change this out. Unfortunately, this backside almost just fell out as I was working on it, so it shouldn't be hard to back this out and change these out real fast. These weren't difficult to line up or anything, so there we go. Now what I did there is I had two of these. The other one did not work out. I would have never got it from here all the way back around in order to face down. So I smartly tried the other one and the other one worked just fine. Now I can't really pry on it with the pry bar anymore, because I hit my grease zerk. So I'm going to try this. Easy fix. That big old crescent works pretty good as a hammer. And there's my grease zerk right there, ready to hit. That's going to be nice right there. Be way better. Okay guys, I want to turn the camera back on and show y'all something here. That grease zerk on this side did the same thing as the other side. By the time I tightened it, it was facing this way. There's no way it would have stripped out if I would have tried to turn it all the way around and face it back down. So I went back to the hardware store and got some more grease zerks. And It's just a matter of they have to cut the threads that match what you need them to at the time. So if you have this problem or you go to buy grease zerks, buy several. I mean, they're a couple of bucks. I had to go back to the hardware store because I just didn't think about buying different ones, just so I could find one that the threads lined up with where I need them to line up at. Now see, that's going to be perfect. Now when I tighten this thing down, it's going to be exactly where I need it. Right there. So it's just a matter of matching up the way they cut the threads with the way your threads are cut. All right, now, the trooper moved quite a bit whenever I took this bolt out, so I'm probably going to have to jack it up. You guys have seen that already. I just wanted to show you that tip on the grease zerks. Buy multiples, because you may have to try 3 or 4 for it to come out how you need it to come out. Well, that's it, guys. Job well done. We are finished. I did check with Classic City Overland. The sticker was put on the wrong side, so we did install them correctly. The sticker was supposed to be flipped upside down on the other side. Not a big deal. That sticker wouldn't have lasted long anyway with the water and the mud, the brush, and everything we bring these things through. So thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our great community of guys that we have here on this channel. And give me a thumbs up. Why? Because you know it means a lot to me. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video.